विसुन्दराय तस्मै महाप्रेम रसप्रदाय चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते चैतन्यचन्द्राय नमो नमस्ते जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we are reading from chapter 17, right? Yes, chapter 17 from the book Teachings of Lord Caitanya. So I will continue reading from here. Yesterday we heard the beautiful pastime of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, um, uh, uh, giving a good a good lesson to the fraud so-called God, to that fraud person who was claiming himself to be God. So we heard about that pastime, and we'll continue reading from here today. We can also come to understand that Advait Prabhu is also in the category of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but is subordinate to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead and His immediate and subordinate expansion are worshipable by the other two, namely the representation of the internal potency, that is Gadadhar Pandit, and the representation of the marginal potency, that is Srivas Pandit. Um, representation of internal potency is Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit is the representation of the internal potency of the Lord, and Srivas Pandit as the devotee is the representation of marginal potency, because all the jivatmas are marginal potencies of the potency of the Lord. The representation of the internal potency, Gadadhar, represents the confidential devotee, and the representation of the marginal potency, Srivas, represents the pure devotee. Both of these are worshippers of the other three. Other three means Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and Sri Advait Prabhu. Of all four of the Lord's expansions, whether in the worshipable category like Nityananda and Advait Prabhu, or the worshipper category, that is Gadadhar Pandit or Srivas Pandit, they are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Nityananda Prabhu and Advait Prabhu, although they are in the worshipable category, yet we see from the pastimes in the Chaitanya Charitamrit pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where all these associates, especially Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Advait Prabhu, they were engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of God at Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They were not claiming themselves to be God and saying that we deserve worship, or we are worshipable, so you should worship us. In fact, Sri Advait Acharya Prabhu, he is Acharya, and he is Mahavishnu. He is the combined form of Mahavishnu and Mahashiv. And his two sons, mm, he had uh, four sons, if not mistaken. But however, so in that, amongst his sons, two sons, there was Achyut and Gopal. So they are the incarnations of Kartikeya and uh, Lord Ganesha. So Lord Kartikeya and Lord Ganesha, and they were very obedient to their father. Their father worshipped Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they also worshipped Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the other sons of Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu, they claimed to be the sons of the Supreme Lord Advaita Acharya. They said that Advaita Acharya is the Supreme Lord and therefore he should be worshipped. And therefore, Advaita Acharya himself, he uh, rejected the two sons who claimed his father, their father, to be the Lord, to be the Supreme Lord. So by this, Sri Advaita Acharya Prabhu is himself showing that we should understand who is the Supreme Lord from the verdict given in the Shastra by the sadhus and by Guru. So, where Advaita Acharya Prabhu himself has never claimed this, his sons are claiming, and therefore, being a father, he rejects his other two sons who are claiming this, that their father, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so, therefore, we see that Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya Prabhu, Gadadhar Prabhu, and Srivas Pandit, they are all engaged in transcendental loving service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In fact, there are some descendants of Sri Advaita Acharya still who claim themselves to be from as the descendants of Advaita Acharya Prabhu and claim themselves to be Goswamis, Jat Gosais, and who give initiation, who say that we come in the disciplic line of succession of Advaita Acharya. But actually, Advaita Acharya Prabhu never had any separate disciplic succession. They may be descendants, but it should be understood that they are upper sampradaya. There is a specific difference between the pure devotee and the confidential devotee. The different potencies of the Lord are engaged in serving the Supreme Lord in different transcendental relationships. There is a specific difference between the pure devotee and the confidential devotee. The different potencies of the Lord are engaged in serving the Supreme Lord in different transcendental relationships. They are situated in conjugal love, in parental affection, in friendship, or in servitude. By judging impartially, one can find that the internal potencies of the Supreme Lord who are engaged in conjugal love with the Lord are the best of all devotees. Thus, both internal devotees and the confidential devotees are attracted by the conjugal love of the Supreme Absolute Truth. These are the most confidential devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Other pure devotees who are more or less attached to Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Advait Prabhu are attracted by other transcendental relationships such as parental affection, friendship, and servitorship. When such devotees are very much attached to the activities of Lord Chaitanya, they at once become confidential devotees in conjugal love with the Supreme Lord. Wow. There is a very nice song sung by Sri Narottam Das Thakur, a great devotee and acharya in our disciplic succession from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Narottam Das sings, "When will there be transcendental eruptions all over my body simply by my hearing the name of Gauranga? When will tears incessantly flow from my eyes simply by my uttering the names of the Lord? গৌরাঙ্গ বলিতে হবে পুলক শরীর, হরি হরি বলিতে নয়নে ববে নীর." Pulaka means hairs standing on end, and Nayan means the eyes. Nayane bobe. Bobe means to flow. Neer means water. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur is praying like this, that when will there be transcendental eruptions all over my body, simply by my hearing the name of Gauranga, just like our Guru Varga, and especially Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, when he says Gauranga, we see how he starts trembling by taking the name of Gauranga. And that is also the mood of Srila Narottam Das Thakur. He's saying, when will tears incessantly flow from my eyes simply by my uttering the names of the Lord? When we say Govind, Krishna, Gauranga, when we say these names, nothing happens to us. It's just okay, one more name. But our acharyas, they are all confidential devotees in conjugal love with the Supreme Lord. And they actually feel great ecstasy. Transcendental eruptions start happening to them. Yet, in their humble mood, they are praying like this: when will Lord Nityananda have mercy upon me and make all my desires for material enjoyment insignificant? Whenever there is a thought of some kind of material enjoyment, it should feel very fika, dry. Cheh, what fun is there in that? But for the materialist, it may be wow, I wish this happens. Going to going to Disney World or going to SL World. I remember as a kid, this SL World was a great fascination for everyone of our generation. Or going to some big seven-star hotel in some big place, New York, some big. So for people of the material world, it is like their dream. But for the pure devotees, it's like, Cheh. Srila Prabhupada is saying, is calling America when he was going in Jaladuta, he was aboard the ship and he was going to America, United States of America, and he was writing in his Jaladuta diaries that why did you bring me to this Ugra Sthan? Ugra means this hopeless dark place. Is America dark? Are there no electricity? Array, every place it is there is so much lights. But Srila Prabhupada is not talking about the externals. Srila Prabhupada is saying, what is there? I was sitting in Vrindavan, which is the spiritual world. I left everything and I'm coming into this yucky place. And people want to go to America. People want to go to Europe, European nations. They think it is the dream. Everything is there in these places. And here Srila Narottam Das Thakur is saying, when will Lord Nityananda have mercy upon me and make all my desires for material enjoyment insignificant? Did Srila Narottam Das Thakur have any material desires or desire for material enjoyment? This is how humble the pure devotees are. What is the level of their humility? It's just impossible for us to understand also. When shall I be purified by giving up all contaminations of material enjoyment? In fact, material enjoyment is not just the externals. Okay, some people may think, no, I don't have any attachment of going to America and going to Europe. I'm satisfied where I am. I'm satisfied where I am. That is also material enjoyment. I am satisfied in my comfort zone. That is also material enjoyment. That is also desire for material enjoyment. That I don't want to disturb this comfort zone that I am in. My family is at peace. My relationships are going on well. I don't have any health issues. I have good insurance. I have saved enough. I'm happy. This is also the contamination of the material enjoyment. Okay, some people may say that Oh, I'm fully dependent on Krishna, whatever Krishna wants to do. But then maybe there is a lucrative offer of um giving some classes sitting on the Vyasasana, and the thought is coming, yeah, when I sit on the Vyasasana, then people will know that, okay, this is Shama Karunamai Devi Dasi giving class on the Vyasasana in Sri Mayapur Dham. Wow. So people will know that now I've become a preacher sitting on Vyasasana. Puja, Labh, and Pratishtha. Kanaka Kamini Kirti. We want followers. We want people to know us. This is also contaminations of material enjoyment, although apparently it may seem that we are in Krishna consciousness, but actually we are very much materially contaminated because we have not given up the desire for material sense gratification. And when shall I be able to see the transcendental abode of Vrindavan? Arre, but I'm sitting in Vrindavan. I can see Vrindavan. Mayapur is not different from Vrindavan. I have visited Vrindavan. I have seen Vrindavan. Okay. Arre, Vrindavan is in my heart. I'm doing Tulsi Puja, Tulsi Parikrama every day. That I have heard from the devotees that wherever there is Tulsi Devi, that is Vrindavan. So I'm doing Tulsi Puja, that is Vrindavan. But then when when we think of like this, we forget Vrindavan also means that our heart has no expectations of um, being attached to our current abode, the house. And I'm so comfortable in this house. Right now, going to Vrindavan, actually going to Vrindavan, what is the need? Because it is, um, it's very difficult for us to go at this time. But I'm more attached to this house, and I'm more attached to this comfort that right now I am in. That attachment of comfort is also material enjoyment. I don't know, everybody will say, Mataji, you are saying this is also attachment, that is also, then what should we do? We should not get comfortable, or we should not expect any sense gratification. We are trying to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Even sitting in Mayapur Dham, if my mind is dwelling in some other place, then that is as good as not being in Vrindavan Dham. But somebody who is sitting in US and constantly thinking of Sri Mayapur Dham, of Sri Vrindavan Dham, such a person is actually in Vrindavan Dham. So, when shall I be able to see the transcendental abode? It is not just that we sit like a fly or a mosquito in the dham, but we are external conscious. We have no consciousness that we are sitting in that dham where Mahaprabhu is breathing, and we are taking in that same air that is coming out of the nostrils of Sri Mahaprabhu. We are breathing that same air that is being breathed out by the associates of Mahaprabhu. When we see the dhuli, the dust, oh, we are like, Arey, there is dust, there is dust, there is dust. Yes, externally it may be difficult because we are in the material body, but internally we should think that this is the dust on which Mahaprabhu is walking. Unfortunately, my eyes are so materially contaminated and inflicted that I cannot see Mahaprabhu. But Mahaprabhu is doing his pastimes even now. But I'm so unfortunate that I cannot see those pastimes with my eyes. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur is saying, when shall I be able to see the transcendental abode of Vrindavan? When shall I be eager to accept the six Goswamis as my prime guides? When will I be able to understand the conjugal love of Krishna? No one should be eager to understand the conjugal love of Krishna without undergoing disciplinary training under the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. This is very important. The Mayavadis means those who don't um, have, do not believe the instructions of Krishna as it is, as it is. They are called Mayavadis. It can be those who may be Vedantists and who know all the Vedanta, Shastra, everything, but they are interpreting it in their own way. Or it could be those people who don't read only any Shastras, anything. They also can be considered among the Mayavadis. So, Srila Prabhupada had very, very clearly mentioned this, that one should read Srimad Bhagavatam in the chronological order. One should not try to jump over cantos and go to canto number 10 directly just because it mentions about all the conjugal intimate pastimes of the Supreme Lord. But what do the Mayavadis do? They actually go into that, and like shameless bogus persons, they sit on the Vyasasan, so called Vyasasan, and they narrate the pastimes of the Ras Leela to people in general. Actually, these subject matters are not supposed to be discussed in public. Will any child discuss about the intimate matters of their parents in the world openly, sitting on a stage? They will never do. So, how can, if somebody is really a devotee, somebody really loves the Supreme Father and Supreme Mother, how can they sit and discuss these topics like mundane material topics? People think, oh, this is what is the difference in material world? Also, there we have girlfriends and boyfriends. Arey, we have so many nice movies, and they show these they show these topics in such a very so nicely that you will enjoy these pastimes. The Radha Krishna also may be same only. That kind of foolish mentality should never be entertained. That is the most dangerous thing. Therefore, it is very important that no one should be eager to understand, Arey, what is the conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna? What is conjugal love of Krishna? We should never try to understand that without undergoing disciplinary training under the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. What does that mean? Srila Prabhupada is strictly following the training under the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. And our spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, they are strictly training us how to be a proper student under the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, because our spiritual master is under Srila Prabhupada, who is under the six Goswamis, the Guru Parampara, entire Guru Parampara. And therefore, unless our spiritual master reveals this to us, our spiritual master reveals our identity, unless spiritual master opens these topics to us, we should not try to go out of our way thinking that no, now I have become very advanced, I've understood Bhagavad Gita, I have read Bhagavad Gita many times, I have read Srimad Bhagavatam, I have read this, I have read that, so now let me try to understand because now I have advanced, I feel a very intense attachment to Krishna, therefore I think I am a gopi, or I am this and that. All that bullshit nonsense, this is absolute bogus, because people are trying to concoct these ideas. Therefore, one should not be eager to understand the conjugal love of Krishna without undergoing disciplinary training under the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. But at the same time, if somebody takes shelter of the Vaishnav bhajans that our acharyas have given us, especially Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Lochan Das Thakur, and Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Because Srila Prabhupada have personally advised us to sing the bhajans given to us by these three acharyas and also the bhajans by Srila Prabhupada. Then we will understand the mood of our sampradaya. Then we will understand the intimate mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we will understand the mood of Srila Prabhupada. And we will understand the mood of our spiritual master. And from there, we can really be in the right mood and attitude from where our spiritual master can take us ahead. So, on that note, we'll pause here for today, and Krishna willing, we'll continue reading again tomorrow. So, thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind association. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री श्रीमद श्रीला जय पताका स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय। जगत गुरु श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। पिताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। गौरांग कुटी भक्त वृंद की जय।
हरी हरी बोल। श्रील श्याम कुलनामा माता दी की जय।
All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Kindly please let me hear all of your Hari Bol. So, and please bless me with your Hari Bol.
Hari Bol!
Hari Bol.
हरी बोल।